It is 6:15 in the morning here, Saturday, October 10th, and I'm at our local Starbucks. I'm going to move away from here. It's a little bit noisy with the music playing. I came here to get on Wi-Fi. I've actually been working out of here all week. We were very fortunate not to have been hit by Hurricane Delta, but it did brush by us and it took out some of our towers, some of our network towers. So but that's the least of our worries. I mean, it's been an inconvenience working out of Starbucks for the week, but you do what you got to do, right? So this is a very nice part of Grand Cayman. It's called Camana Bay. Some nice little restaurants and shops and stores. Very nice area. Reminds me of Miami for some reason. I don't know why. Bayside of Miami. I don't know. I'm going to see can I get somewhere a little bit quieter. And so I'm going to talk about this too shall pass. The heading on my video for today. I think in our current times, I've always tried to live by that mantra that, especially in difficult times, that this too shall pass, right? But I think that's really been tested in ways we never thought possible this year with obviously COVID and what it's done to all of our lives. And I know it's been just a unimaginably challenging and hard year for everybody. And I learned about this really on my time on the ships, of trying not to let something going wrong get to me and just believing that this too shall pass. And I got to learn doing that hands-on with dealing with our guests on the ship, and as a maitre d' especially, I was very much involved in guest resolution with guest complaints and different things like that, and so I'd regularly have to meet with guests and they'd be blowing off about whatever it was, and in the beginning I'd take it very personally, especially if they were complaining about one of our staff or the service they received. But I learned over time, and our guests were amazing, but there was always that 1% or 0.5% that it didn't matter what you did, they were miserable, right? But you still did your best. You did everything you could to make it a special time for them. And what got me, made things easier for me, was a realization that they were temporarily on board. They were on board for a week or whatever length of time they were. And especially the guests that were, at times they were kind of miserable, to be honest, and they just wanted to make life hell for everybody around them. Thankfully it was a tiny number, but nonetheless it was there. And that's when I learned that a week from now they were going to be back in their miserable world wherever they had come from, just making the people around them miserable. But that I was going to get to be still going to Spain and still going to Italy and all these beautiful places, and that always put a smile on my face. So, and I'd literally think of that if I was with guests and they were letting loose on me, that's what would be going through. I'd be very empathetic and listening to them and trying to find a solution. But in the back of my mind I'd be thinking, yeah, a week from now you won't be here, Ian. And that stayed with me. That was many years ago, but things come at us, and for me this too shall pass. It can also be an acceptance that the good things that come into our life, in many cases they can be temporary. And so my humble advice is to embrace both the curveballs, the tough things that come into our life, and also the good things that come into our life, to honor them and to know that they're going to pass regardless. And what you're then going to be left with, I call it, and I've learned this through my SFM journey, what you're then left with, you're left with what's called a state of flow. And to me the state of flow is, that's what your everyday looks like. And those of you that have begun your SFM journey, especially if you're headed into module 2, you're going to get, Stuart's going to really get into this with you. And it's an incredible part of your journey, because it talks about the 4 pillars in achieving a state of flow, and that's health, wealth, social, and self. And that was a massive learning curve for me on this journey that I've also been on through SFM, and a lot of realizations. Yeah, So I don't know. I just wanted to touch on that. You know, it's been a week here where things didn't go as expected, but you manage, right? You do what you got to do. I've been working out of Starbucks since Tuesday, and the reason I came here so early, they don't open till 8 o'clock. It's coming up to 6:30 here. I guarantee you by 8 o'clock there's going to be at least 100 people here, and what's going to happen? The Wi-Fi is going to freeze. So it's been a challenging week, but I've been reminding myself regularly throughout the week, this too shall pass. And it will, it always does. So I hope that helps you. Saturday, I hope you're having a great weekend. I'm working today. I generally work 6 days a week, and I gift myself Sunday off with my beautiful wife Peggy. So I'm going to be working through today, getting some more work done, and really preparing for next week. And what are your plans for next week? I hope on this new journey that you're on, that starting to give you some insight and motivation as to how much you can achieve in a week, and what your next week is going to look like. So I'd encourage you to spend a little bit of time thinking about that, and you know, I typically reset myself on a Sunday, and I kind of brush off the challenges that I may have had during the week, and I think about the accomplishments, and then I think about, okay, how do I want to feel a week from now, or how do I want this coming week to look like? And I set myself goals and plans, and then I get at it. Monday morning I get at it. So that's how I start my week. So listen, have a great rest of your weekend. Please stay safe wherever in the world you are, and please go gently on yourselves. Thanks so much.